So, hi everybody. Thank you for taking the time to come to my short presentation. My name is Lori Whale, and I'm Business Development Manager at University of Toronto Press. And we've been in business. We're the largest Canadian university press. We've been in business for almost 125 years. And we publish both books and journals. And I'll tell you a little bit about us. We publish 80 journals per year over a variety of subjects from STEM to humanities and social sciences. We also publish about 250 new titles per year, again, across a number of subjects, from scholarly monographs to textbooks to nonfiction trade. We also have a distribution unit. We have warehouses in Toronto and also in Buffalo, New York. And we also distribute for 260 other publishers. So we have a big warehousing system, and we're very happy to do that to help support smaller publishers that need a distribution arm. And we also have, uniquely, a bookstore unit. So University of Toronto is very large university, and we have 5 bookstores across 3 different campuses. And we think it's fitting that it's under the University Press umbrella because it keeps us in touch with the students and the faculty on campus. Our readership with our publications is all over the world, as you can see. And 75% of our readers are outside of Canada. So they're in the US primarily, then Canada, and then other international countries. So we have a wide reach. We publish both Canadian researcher authors and American and international authors. We also have global sales and distribution. So we reach all corners of the earth, partnering with agencies and other publishers like Johns Hopkins and Mare Nostrum in Africa and Europe, as well as Sino publishers and others in Asia. (2024) was a huge year for UTP. We really grew quite significantly. Unlike a lot of places that are really trying to hold their own and sustain scholarly publishing as much as possible, which is what we do, we have been bullish, and we've actually went on an acquisitions trip this year. So we acquired a Canadian legal publisher, Irwin Law, and it publishes about Canadian law, but also comparative law and legal studies with other countries and regions. We also purchased a linguistics list from Equinox Publishers in the UK. So they have a deep linguistics list of books and 22 journals as well. So that's been very interesting, and we're integrating those new purchases. We purchased a small humanities publisher called Lagos, very niche, and as well as some of the Canadian science publishing list. So we've grown and grown, and now we will probably be publishing about 300 new titles per year. And we went from 60 journals now to 80. So we're really excited for this growth. To help support our growth, we actually recently upgraded our website. So now folks can search our website by keyword across any journal or any book, and you can find books and journals that cover that subject area. We're agnostic, so we're not asking someone to know that they want a book in this area. They just say, I need content in this area, and then you can find it. It will all flow up. So that's very exciting for us, and it's great for our authors and for our journals, because maybe you might become aware of a book or a journal or an author that you haven't heard of, but because you could search in this sophisticated way, you can find more content. just to take a deeper dive into our book list. So 250 books per year. And just the samples I've shown up here are best-selling and award-winning books that we've had in 2023 so far, 2023 last year, and we'll have a new list for next year in 2024. So lots of awards to win, and we're really proud of sustaining scholarship through our publishing mission. In addition, we have an open access or an open books program. So by partnering with Knowledge Unlatched, also from the University of Toronto Library, we've been able to create some open access books that are free to read. And we're quite proud of that. And these are just some samples of our open books. So if any institutions are interested in partnering with us, we'd be happy to talk about open books with you. In late 2023 and all of 2024, we've really focused in on creating audiobook versions of many of our best-selling titles. There's a lot of interest in podcasts and audio, different ways of consuming. So we're publishing about 25 audiobooks per year. And some of those books will have the author's voice or an actor's voice, and then some will be AI. Just depending on the title and the reach of that title. In terms of our journals, our 80 journals, across a large subject area, linguistics, now that we've purchased the Equinox Linguistics list, our health sciences, we've really put a focus on health sciences. Traditionally, university presses have focused on humanities and social studies, but because we're connected to the University of Toronto, which covers everything from STEM to the humanities and arts, we're trying to have our publishing represent the same areas of focus. So across our 80 journals, we've got multiple access models. So some of them are pure subscription, traditional subscription. Others are gold open access, diamond open access, and so forth. So 15% of our journals are open access in general. And as I said, I skipped ahead. We've got gold open access, diamond, and then our newest, most recent model is our subscribe to open. And we're still experimenting with subscribe to open. And we chose this journal because of its mission to be as equitable and open as possible. So the Journal of City Climate Policy and Economy covers research from engineering and STEM, as well as political science and policymakers, how they are looking at climate policies in their cities from around the world. So we partnered with a group called C40 Cities, because it used to be a group of 40 cities internationally that worked together to help solve the climate crises at individual city levels. They came together. Now there are 197 around the world, and we've partnered with them to get their subject matter expertise and help them with their mission. So subscribe to open. Our institutions subscribe to the journal like you would a traditional subscription journal, but the benefit is that once we reach a threshold of the number of subscriptions, we can tip it and make the journal open. So subscribers would always have access to the journal they subscribe to, but if it becomes open, it goes beyond the university, library, and around the world. So it's equitable because we're spreading the word. And this is a different kind of funding model to make it open. Also, authors from subscribing universities have an open publish guarantee. So once the journal becomes open, that author can post their article in their repository, their institutional repository, or in other areas outside of the journal. So it's in the journal, but you have open access rights elsewhere. So very equitable model for both authors, there's no APCs, and for readers. Another innovation we've been focusing on is creating and supporting podcasts to accompany a few of our journals. So our Subscribe to Open journal has a podcast called Cities 1.5, and it's an open podcast where the editor-in-chief interviews some of the authors that have published, and also youth leaders in climate change, et cetera. And it's a very engaging, interesting discussion about solving climate change. So it's called Cities 1.5. Another journal we have is the publications of the Champlain Society, the Samuel Champlain Society. And believe it or not, the Champlain historians, they have a great popular podcast called Witness to Yesterday. Lastly, our journal, Diaspora, has a podcast called Dispersion. And we're just trying to extend the reach of the journal, meet consumers and information where they're at, and how they see it best. So that's my brief presentation, a general overview of University of Toronto Press. I'm happy to talk with you at any time about your interests in authorship, journals, new journals, and books as well. So thank you very much, and please let me know if you have any questions. Come up and ask.
I'll ask a question about the podcast. I find this fascinating. Do you know if people subscribing or listening to a podcast, you have more information about that, or is it?
I think somebody does, but somebody at UTP does, but no, it's a great question. All we know is that when it first came out, it was ranked one of the top science podcasts in the Apple podcast world. So we were so excited because it's a topic. Now, I don't know if we've made, I don't know if we've beaten Joe Rogan or anything like that, but it has a decent subscription, but very good question. We do have to monitor that. Yes.
Are you addressing ADA compliance with the publications? I'm interested in monographs, but also because of the journals, we run a lot of journals too. I'm wondering how you're thinking about that.
It's very important to us to be at the highest level possible. And as a matter of fact, I think a librarian from University of Michigan Press was asking us, can you just tell us exactly if you're AAA, all of those levels. And we're ranked among the top in terms of being compliant across our journals and our books, and also our website, which is also a hosting platform. So I can't give you the details, but if you'd like me to get those details for you. Yes.
So you currently only have one journal Subscribe to Open.
Yes.
Do you plan to have more that follow that route?
It's still new, so it's been available for 2.5 years. And many of the Subscribe to Open ventures, the publishers that ventured into the model, they took a subscription journal that had a base of subscribers, and then they flipped it to the new model. So they already had their base of subscribers, and so that was more straightforward for the community. Whereas UTP, we took a double whammy model where we created a brand new journal and, put it into a very new model. So we're still experimenting. We really feel it's appropriate for some journals. Not one model is not appropriate for all, but we thought that our climate journal, because of its mission and desire to be as equitable and open as possible, we chose that journal. But other journals we may consider. We have about 25 client journals whereby a society or the institute owns the IP and they own the direction of the journal. So we really have to work in collaboration with them. And then we have some other journals where we own the IP. And we just have to look at our community to see what is the best route. Thank you for coming, and I'd love to see you at our booth or online. Thank you.